Wooden bake. Fine bake. Wooden bake. Fine bake. And it gets your face like warmed up.
Super serious.
Where nothing fun or funny ever happens.
This is a super serious thing.
I don't even like dogs.
Super serious.
Looking important. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Super Serious Dog Podcast. Where it's super serious all the time. As you guys
all the time
who are watching can see, Courtney and myself, Misha, are joined by Emma Murdock. Welcome,
Woo-hoo!
Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Hands.
Big fan.
Thanks for having me.
Big fan. Big fan. Yes. Courtney is gushing, whereas I'm just like, dude, I can't wait to talk to Emma again because I
I fangirled hard when you agreed to be on the show. I was like, oh my God. Emma. And like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, you're a big deal. You're a big deal to me. I think you're really cool and what you've done. So tell people who you are and why I'm so excited to talk to you.
Actually, real quick, I just want to say this episode is sponsored by Puppyscapes, but we'll talk about that at the end.
Oh yeah, Puppyscapes. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Emma,
So
who
yes,
are you?
Tell everybody.
I own Walk With Me Ottawa. I started it in 2013 when I was 22. It's a dog walking, boarding, and training business. So originally we started with like group off-leash hikes. So that was a big thing for us. It wasn't super popular at the time. And I just found it really, really valuable for a lot of dogs and sort of not like rehabbing them because I wasn't taking on training clients at the time, but I had a dog who needed some help. And I found that like kind of hiking him in the wilderness and, like with other dogs, it was really valuable for him. So I started this company and, what are we, six years? Seven years?
You're 7.
We
You celebrated 7 recently.
Yeah, we just had our 7th anniversary, which is crazy. And we have now 18 dog walkers and we have 2 full-time
Holy
trainers.
shit,
And
you have
4
18?
apprentice trainers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I've tried to keep up, but I'm like, there's so many. I don't know how you keep up with all of
There's
them.
a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Dude, I can't believe
I
can't believe you started your business at 22. That to me is the ballsiest thing I have ever heard of in my life. Because if I look back at me at 22, I would just pinch my little cheeks and go, "Oh, you're so dumb. You don't know nothing."
I started my business at 30. I am so amazed.
So yeah, major fucking kudos.
It's funny because I still feel like I didn't start early enough. Sometimes I'm still like,
Yeah, every once
it
in a
was
while.
crazy because like I started my business.
Yeah, every once in a while you meet like that 16-year-old who's already like doing some cool, crazy stuff because like they had the opportunity and they took it. And you're just like, I hate you. I want to kill you. Not really. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
I'm almost 30. I don't have any accomplishments yet.
Dude, I'm 33 and I just started my own business. So you're fine. You're way the fuck ahead of us.
It's fine. Trust me, it's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did like the origin of like, where did you come up with the name Walk With Me Ottawa? I always thought that was super cool. I really like the concept. It's really similar to Courtney's company name, which is I Love Your Dog. And I think that's awesome. Just because I think it really tells a story. So what's the story behind Walk With Me?
I mean, I hate to tell you, there's not really a story. I feel like it just came to me, which seems kind of pathetic. I mean, like, it's not pathetic, but it's just, I remember I was working at a retail store, and I had this good friend there, and she was like, "You should name your company Emma Burchell's Dog Walking." And I was like, no. Like, I think she thought it was like some small thing, but for me, from the very beginning, I always wanted it to be big. So like literally from the get-go, I was like, no, I want this to be big. Yeah. And I honestly don't even know where I came up with Walk With Me, but I say it all the time. Like, it's something that we say casually, right? We're like, "Oh, do you want to go for a walk with me?" Or like, "Come walk with me." Like, it's something that we say. So I really, I don't know. I like it. It's a little bit, obviously centric around walking. And then since we added training, like a few people were confused, like, "Oh, do you do training?" But now it almost has flipped the other way, where people are more aware of us as a training company, and then they find out the walking after.
Yeah. I think it paints a really nice picture, right? Like you say, there's not much to it, but there is that is a sense of like community that you've harbored in your name, right? Like you have made it casual and regular, and like there's almost an expectation to it too. Like, hey, come walk with me. Let's do this thing together.
Yeah.
And I think that's really awesome. And I think that's something that really lacks in the industry, or can be really difficult for trainers, especially if they're like the only one in their area. And so like I rely on Courtney a ton, and I know she relies on me sometimes. And then we have other people that we rely on. And like, I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for other people, like honestly.
Yeah, no, totally. Oh gosh, I know. I mean, like I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for all my walkers, right? You know?
Right.
So.
Totally. When did you hire your first employees?
Oh boy. So I started the company like officially, I guess, like very beginning of September. And then by like end of October, I had hired one already. And then that kind of like January, February, I had hired like 4 more.
That's awesome.
It was crazy.
Is that just out of pure demand?
Yeah, it was sort of like, I was sort of all over the whole, like the city, you know, I was kind of over here and over there. And I was like, okay, well, I need to do this smarter and have someone else take care of this area.
Right.
And then what I did was I just like went on to Kijiji, which is like the Canadian version of Craigslist. And I went looking for people who were offering the service.
That's awesome. That's such a great.
Did you say you went and found other dog walkers?
So I went looking for people who were like offering dog walking, and I said like, hey, do you want to like contract for me under my company doing dog walking? And that's how I found my first person, and she's been with me the whole time. She was like a really great, like, I mean, sort of like a mentor, right? She had her own business that was like exotic animal birthday parties kind of thing.
Aww,
and she was a really, really good friend. I mean, still is obviously. And we would talk on the phone like every day while we'd go pick up the dogs, you know, we'd just be on the phone for like 4 hours a day.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So it was basically one of those things where like there was a need, but then, you know, like you said, you essentially already knew you wanted it to be big. So like how big do you want it to keep going? Like, what's the future in store?
I mean, I've floated back and forth. Like we've thought about franchising, we've thought about expanding to other cities, but like really we haven't really hit saturation where we are. We're in such a great town. We're in Ottawa, the capital of Canada. We're a government town. There's a lot of money here. So, I mean, I don't know, like we probably will at some point, if the right opportunity arose, we would likely, I don't say franchise, because I don't know if it'd be an official franchise or if it would be more of just like
licensing,
you know,
or something.
they're running under our name.
Yeah.
We've had people like in Arizona who wanted to be a walk with me person.
So
we've had people all over. Yeah, it's crazy. So
it's very brandable, you know, like.
Yeah. It is. And I think the biggest problem for me is like, I mean, again, with the walking is our thing is kind of that like private land where we own land, we rent it, we fenced it in and we use that. And we're not like going to dog parks and stuff, which is obviously harder to manage like in other cities. So I think if we were to expand, it would have to be more training way, but like, it's all just, you know, but big, we wanted it big. I mean,
yeah. I ran my business as a hiking business last year. I stopped this year because things just got so complicated this year everywhere. And I haven't gotten back to it. And at this point, I've come up with a different plan and I'm probably not going to. But I ran into the problem of not having private land and having to deal with public trails and dogs and people. And the liability of that just got uncomfortable. And I was like, I couldn't make it all over town to pick up all the dogs, kind of like you, and like wanted to hire other people. But at the same time, that's me putting my name out there onto like public trails where something could happen and it literally isn't your fault or your dog's fault, but you're the person with 10 off leash dogs. So whose fault does it look like it is? And having to, you know, mitigate those situations was not something I was ready to take on in my first year of business. So hopefully I can.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I found you on the Instagrams, I was like, oh my gosh, this girl has private land and she hikes dogs on it. That's fucking genius. That's obviously how you should do it. But I don't have private land, so that's not happening.
That's hard. I get a lot of people asking me about that. I've done a few virtual like consults with people, like business owners starting up dog walking and trainers who want to add that into their service. Because I mean, like side note, but like it's amazing income for a trainer who wants to, you know, get up and coming, and you're also building yourself a client base to
and
train
it's
from,
fun
right?
and you're in nature. So like win-win, whole bunch of winning. Yeah,
exactly. So I basically started by I've reached out to, or well, no, again, I posted on Kijiji and I looked for people who would be willing to like rent out their land. And so I started by just renting land, and I got really lucky with the land we got. And then I ended up buying a piece of property. Then I bought another piece of property that was better, bigger and better. And we sold the original piece because it got hit by a tornado. But that's a story.
Oh no.
Oh shit. Is everybody okay? Or was it just like an empty, like not in use building?
It was just okay. And the tornado literally went like exactly like my property lines down. And there was a house on either side. And luckily they were damaged slightly, but they weren't torn down. And like it literally just went the full like stretch of my property.
Oh shit.
The whole thing.
That's crazy.
And it was a beautiful piece of property. It was like forested, and there was like waterfalls, and like, oh, it was so nice. It just got destroyed.
Oh goodness.
That's crazy. How big is your current property?
It's 46 acres.
46 acres.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Courtney's drooling. Don't mind her.
Oh my gosh. Emma, living my dream.
I think 100 would be nice.
Yeah, no, that would also be nice. You're right. I'm excited about the 1 acre I just got. So yeah, I'm working on fencing in my 1 acre, and I'm really excited about that. So
baby steps.
No, an acre. Our house is about on like almost an acre.
Is your
like 3/4 maybe?
Is your property the same as your homestead type property, or is it like separate where you drive to it?
Separate. So it's about 5 to 10 minutes away.
Nice.
7 minutes away.
Was that like a personal choice? Like you wanted separation from work? Nice. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, I do want separation from work. I mean, we did buy this house after we had bought that no, wait. Sorry, I had the first property, then we bought this house, and then I bought the other piece of property, I think. It's all convoluted in my head. But,
kind of a blur. And
I mean, hypothetically, yeah, we could build on that land, but I don't really want to live there. I don't want to live where everyone is, because I feel like, I don't know, I just don't want to be that. I'm close. I'm very close, but I don't want to be that close.
Yeah. What do your training programs look like? How are they structured? By the way, you have a beautiful website. I just want to say it is really pretty. If you guys want to go check it out, it's walkwithmeottawa.com. And don't worry, spell check will help you out as you Google that. Don't worry.
Thank you. Awesome. I mean, I've changed it a few times. I mean, I made it myself, which is something that I'm like proud of, but it's also a pain in the ass.
Right.
And sometimes like I see other people's websites and I'm like, ooh, this is so nice and clean. And like, maybe I should have someone do mine, but I've had it for 7 years now. So I just feel like I'm really attached to it, even though I've given it a full overhaul and stuff.
Yeah. It's aged well.
We're always
It's aged very well, I will say, because it does not look like it's that old. There are definitely
like I said, I redid it a few years ago, but
why is it that some dog trainer websites are like the oldest doo-doo GeoCities stuff you have ever seen? And you're like, dude, you're not that old of a person. Why does your website look like you are? Like that is a big part of like how you're presenting yourself. I think that shit matters. And if something's broken or whatever, like that's bad, but I think it's far worse to just have something old and like not updated, because that's kind of like an out of touch.
I mean, I got a lot of compliments on my website. I think it's how we grew, because even when we were brand new, we looked pretty legit from that.
Right.
So people like the way we put together. I get compliments on it all the time. So, but anyway, my training packages, we do board and trains and we do private training. We're not currently doing any group classes, although we do have a like client training practice for all of our training clients to come to. So we host those every now and again. So like everyone can come, and it's just a group thing to kind of practice everything.
Is that just
we are building
like solo practice? Like everybody's just there working on their own things around, or is there like
no, we're coaching.
Okay.
It kind of depends. Like we've run it different ways. Like every time is a little bit different. So mostly you're kind of expected like work on what you need to work on. It's an opportunity for you to be there and kind of, work around distractions and like do everything that you've been taught. But obviously if there's someone who's maybe a little bit newer, we're going to be coaching them. And then we're also sometimes running drills, like, because sometimes people are shy. Like they don't want to like try stuff. They're nervous. They don't want to like put themselves out there. So we'll make them and be like, okay, you go put your dog in a down and walk away, stuff like that, and recall and kind of setting them up like that. But it's not necessarily a class because we're not necessarily teaching anything. Yeah. We're just running through drills.
Yeah. Man, that's so funny though. If you made all the effort to get to group class, right? Like that is the hardest part of group class, is just getting there sometimes, right? Especially depending on what issues you're working through or anxiety levels or whatever. And once you're there, you're freaking there, man. Just do the stuff. Like who gives a shit? Like you're there to learn and everybody's there to learn. And that person right over there that looks awesome and they're kicking ass, you should have seen them 6 months ago. Like it should be a testament to like basically where your goals are and like where they should be and like what's possible.
Exactly. It's really nice for them to see each other that way. And like we've had clients even kind of become friends and stuff, right? Or they run into each other when they're vacationing, like different stuff like that. It's interesting. But we like pointing out the group thing's nice too, because like if we have like say a newer dog come in, we can like take the dog and show people the body language, right? And point it out, be like, okay, look at this dog and look how he's reacting to that dog. And people really like that. Because it's one thing to know your own dog, but seeing other people's dogs, that's like a whole another learning curve.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I love making friendships in group class. I don't run group classes right now, but like, I usually like would have even and when would be something words are hard. When it would be something I was teaching, at the end, I would always try to have like 10 minutes or so where I'm just like, so like, what's up in everybody's life? Like, let's talk about your dogs and what they did. And I'm not going to answer questions. Y'all can answer each other's questions unless nobody knows the answer. Then I'll obviously help. But like, counter surfing, getting in the trash, stuff like that. Like y'all have ways of working on that kind of stuff. What was your solution? What worked for you? Because I don't know everything about dog training and my dogs don't live a normal pet life. So I don't have all the solutions. I just know what I know. And that's about the end of what I know. So I love to hear other people's ideas and how they worked on things.
Yeah. I think one of the hardest concepts to convey for clients is like the concept of experimentation and just fucking doing things. Like you have to just put your hands on it and do it. Have you seen my stories, Emma, about my skirt? My adventures with my skirt. So basically, long story short, I busted out my sewing machine and I made a skirt. I'm still not quite done with it, but I'm close to the finish line. And it has been a journey. It has been quite the learning experience. And I have yelled and swore and had to redo huge portions that took a lot of work and a lot of effort and like that I spent literally all day on. And then I'd go, fuck, I did this wrong. God damn it. Right. And I learned that you just have to fix it. And that's literally like, you cannot learn to sew any other way. That is the only way you can do it. And then I had this like epiphany where I was like, just like dog training. Because like, if you don't do the reps or if you give up the moment that like your dog has a hiccup or hits a wall, or you can't get them to not do it without the treat or whatever it is, like then you need to go into your support network and you need to go find clients, or you need to ask your trainer or go on forums and be like, yo dudes, I have questions. Right. And, lean on each other. It's impossible to do this alone. It's impossible. Like we said earlier.
Yeah, no, totally. It's so
Call back.
And like we have our team is very, very close as well. So like all of our kind of apprentice trainers, they're all really tight knit and they're all best friends. Like they're all actually away camping together this weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
Which it's really cool. Yeah. I don't know. I like it. It's fun. They're all really, really close.
It definitely makes getting shifts covered a lot easier, because when you're at a place where you are resentful of like somebody's hours or of each other in some way, or you're just like depleted, right, and overworked, having that camaraderie could be the thing that gets you through it. But also it's even better if you don't have all those negative things, because then it makes doing something a little extra or out of the ordinary for that person, because like they want to go visit their family or something like that, then it's way easier. It really sucks. Like I do not envy you having employees, because I am terrified at the thought of like having to deal with like covering shifts and scheduling and all of that. I'll get there.
It's a little different. Like it's not really shifts, since they're not employees technically up here. They're contractors.
Oh,
but,
cool.
I mean, yes, they do cover each other, but again, it's not shift work, right? So it's like covering dogs. So like today's Thursday, Friday, like other people are covering their dogs for today and tomorrow. But definitely it does help for sure. I mean, the problem with it is that they're all away together. So that they can't cover each other.
Right.
But like happens. I mean, when we went to conference last year, there was like, I think 6 of us, right? And it's like, oh, we need coverage, right? So, I mean, that's definitely a con of it, but it is what it is. And there's more people here to help, and clients are, accommodate and stuff like that too. So
are there ever like times where, so like in this instance, right? Like, do you have a hard time letting go and like just closing down your business for a week or something? Obviously now times are weird and everything's kind of bizarre, or it was for a little while. Now it's kind of like new normal. But like before, like, did you ever have a hard time going on vacation or setting aside time for you, or like being able to shut down and be like, nope, everybody's off for the holidays or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't really shut down ever. So yes, I have a hard time with it. But also, like, counter to that, my business runs really well on its own. So that's like cool. To a degree, I can definitely just turn off and like not work. So everything's very systematized. But I'm also kind of like always working, because I mean, like, my social media presence is like, I'm always doing stuff with that. And that's a really scary trap though, because you're on there, you're like, oh, I'm working, and then you're not.
Right. Right. That
so
balance
I'm trying to be more
fun.
mindful of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's honestly really hard for me. I need to be better about that. So, trying to really like put the phone away unless I'm actively like working,
Yeah.
But I mean, I go on vacation. I mean, my husband doesn't really like traveling, so we usually go on vacation like once a year for about a week. And we're, like in Mexico or something, which, is not going to happen for the foreseeable future.
Right.
I don't know. And I mean, all my other all my other trips are always work related. Like, that's what I like to do, is go places and train dogs and stuff like that. Right. Like, conference is always like a 2 or 3 week trip for me, because I always drive. So those are like my vacations, but they're like not vacations.
Yeah. No, totally. When I got engaged, that was a trip down to go to Jason's open field social, and he let me be like out in the yard and like managing a whole quadrant of the several acre plot of land with hundreds of dogs on it. And then like the next day I got proposed to. It was the greatest weekend of my fucking life.
I didn't know you got to manage part of the yard in Jason's social.
Oh,
That's awesome.
It was terrifying. And Rocky got protective of me, because that was like the third time he'd been there. And so he was like, and I wasn't moving and ignoring him like I did last time. So it was pretty funny. There was one point where I had to yell at a dog, and that got my heart going.
I bet. Have you ever been to one of those, Emma? The large, I mean, I know you hike dogs, but have you been to
I went to Jason's. I went in, I guess it was 2 or 3 years ago in like Pennsylvania. We went down, me and Carolina, and it was smaller scale than like the ones that he runs, obviously where he is. But I remember it's like, it is a little high octane. And like, I remember there was like a little issue with some dogs, and my little dog Cricket just friggin' jumped right in there.
Little fucking
schnauzer. Like, she was in the big dog group, because I said like, yeah, she's good. She can handle herself. Yeah. And like, yeah, she's a little shark. So
that's funny.
It was good. It was pretty, there wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah. When y'all walk and hike dogs, like what's the max number of dogs that like people tend to take, or what's the average as well? So like max and what's like the average?
Generally like 12 to 15 is the max.
In a day?
Average is like
a whole day or like at one time?
That's like at once. That's pack.
Crazy, man. That's crazy.
And I mean like 10, I mean, you know, 10 is a really nice number. Like 10 is really like easy. Yeah. It really does depend on the dynamic of the dogs and then like the walker themselves for sure. Like if you have a lot of like really small, easy dogs, you can take more. If you have a lot of really big dogs, you're taking less.
Right. That makes sense.
But again, it's all just based on dynamics. I mean, like I have 6 dogs here. Wait, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have 6. No, wait. Yeah. 6 dogs here now. And like walking them off leash is like nothing. Like I don't need to. Right. So, but when you start, it's not like that. I remember starting with like, you start with 1 and then 2. And 3, and then
right.
It gets easier and easier.
Yeah, I had like 9 dogs with me at the property the other day, and I was just like walking around doing stuff, and there was just like a herd. They were just following me in a herd, and I was like, "This is amazing," because you just feel awesome when that happens. But like when we went hiking, we had 10 at the most, probably sometimes. But like I said, we were on public trails also, so I didn't feel comfortable having more than 10 because I was like, no, because if something goes wrong with a random kid or a random dog, which happened a lot, was random kids and random dogs. Like, I don't want to try to control more than 10 dogs in that moment.
Yeah, no way. We when we were on public land, we would only take max of like 6 or 7, like hard cut off at 7.
6
because
was
again,
my
it's
happy
just
number.
You're going to take the blame. Yeah, 6 is nice.
Yeah, 6
is
was
really
nice
easy.
on public land because that's. I don't know. That felt easy, but I could see like if I knew the land was fenced in and I knew like the only other people I might run into are other dog hikers who know like how to read interactions. Mm-hmm. I could definitely.
Yeah, they all know each other. They all walk together.
Right. I watched those videos and I'm like, that looks like 30 your fucking dogs walking together. That's awesome because I'm sure y'all like combine your packs, and then I've seen y'all like split off also, so I like that.
Yeah, it's super cool. And like the job itself is very isolating, right? Like you're very much alone. You're not really interacting with people. You're picking up dogs. Well, I mean, now everyone's home. There's a little more interaction, but you're not supposed to interact with people. So it was a very like lonely job, I think, for a long time. So that's the other reason now that like they're all friends. It's really nice because they'll get together and they'll walk together, and then they'll split off. Everyone kind of arrives at different times, so they might do a little bit of walking together. But yeah, I mean, it's really. People ask me all the time about like my company culture and like how I did it. And I don't really have an answer other than like I hire specific people. Like my screening process is, I don't want like not intense, but just like thorough.
Yeah.
And I really have to vibe with the person. And that's probably what it comes down to is like me vibing with them is kind of what allows them all to get along probably.
Right.
Because we're not hiring like outliers, we're not hiring, and not on purpose. I don't mean that like we're discriminating, not at all. Like we have people who are in their 60s and we have people who are in their 20s. Like it's not, and we have males and females, not very many males though. But
isn't that funny how this industry just really quickly flipped from like male dominated to female dominated? Like, boom.
So interesting. Even our protection club, like it's all women.
Really? That's super
2 guys.
Cool.
That's
super cool.
Super interesting. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is pretty much it. That is all the time we have for this episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And
don't forget to check out Puppyscapes.
So, yes. So, as I mentioned earlier, this episode is sponsored by Puppyscapes. Puppyscapes have some really cool playground-like jumps, kind of like really
Suspension
nice, well-built jungle gyms for your pets, and they have all kinds of ranges of size and cost and that sort of thing. So definitely check it out. Go to puppyscapes.com, fill out the contact form because he does everything. He does a lot of custom stuff too, and mention that you heard about it through Super Serious Dog Podcast. If you buy one thing, you get 5% off that item. If you're buying multiple things, you get 7% off. So woohoo! Take advantage of that. And they're really cool. And Courtney actually just ordered some.
Yes, I'm super excited.
At some point, do you want to tell everybody quickly like what you got and like what you're excited about?
So I got the really big thing he makes because I was like, go big or go home, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I just got an acre and I'm going to put it out there and it's going to be awesome. And it has so it has stairs that they can go up it on it. And then it has a ladder walk. So like spaced out
Ooh, nice.
boards. And then that goes to a platform. And then from that platform to the next platform is a suspension bridge that can hold like up to 300 pounds or something ridiculous cool. Like that. And then from that platform, there is a kind of like straight rail walk, like 2x4s,
like a balance beam.
Yeah, like a balance
totally.
beam. They're kind of spaced out, so like the dog has to really pay attention to their feet, and then they can walk down again. So like, there's going to be so much confidence building done on that. And then I'm pretty sure I'm also going to get one of the other platform things. And then he makes A-frames and all kinds of shit, and he ships all over. And he's a really nice guy. He's been really great to work with. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Really cool. Made in Texas. What'd you say, Emma?
Do they ship to Canada? Probably.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, it might cost a lot, but I'm sure he could get it there.
I want one of these. Sold me. I'm into it.
Yeah, they're all. Are you looking at them right now? They're badass, right?
Pretty
I'm
awesome.
so excited.
And you can get them custom made. So thank you guys again for listening. Remember, if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at superseriousdogpodcast@gmail.com. We have a Patreon. If you want to help us out financially, hint, hint. You can also write us a review. Tell everybody what you liked. You know, do you like our guests? Do you like us? Do you think my braids are cool?
I think your braids are cool. Also, Emma will be on our Patreon, $5 a month, and you can have access to the longer versions of our interviews and podcasts and shit, all this serious stuff we do.
Super serious.
We're going to talk about her new dogs and her new dog sports that she's just getting right into because she's just that badass that dives in head first. I love it.
So if you want to know more about giant schnauzers and dog sports, check it out.
And Riggins.
Riggins!
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye. Just so you know, we always dance. You don't have to dance. You know.